And so, guys, in the interest of saving some time, um, you're just going to simply listen to me as I read through this, and then there'll be a couple of questions that you're prompted with that you'll just need to write some response to. Keep in mind interconnectedness and interdependence within the issue of pollution in Mexico City. And I want you thinking specifically of the role of the citizen and the role of the government, and then be thinking about potential solutions to this problem. So I'm going to give you some background knowledge of the geographical landscape of Mexico City, and then also some of the pollutants. All right, so all you have to do is simply listen to this one. And if you're listening to this, then you're doing that instead of actually reading the article. Either way is fine, just as long as you gather the information. So, overcrowding in Mexico City has added to the city's environmental problem. Heavy volumes of traffic and factory emissions, along with the surrounding mountains that do not allow pollutants to escape, combine to cause heavy air pollution. The government has worked on the problem by imposing car restrictions based on the license plate number. Cars are required to stay off the roads for 1 day each week, upgrading buses and working with industry to reduce pollutants. However, as one engineer has noted, trying to reduce air pollution is like trying to fix an airplane while it's in flight. Now, keep in mind to what that solution is, because the activity that you're going to be doing closer to the end of this little mini unit that we're doing is related to the reducing car driving days by license plate number. So keep that part in mind. Pollution in Mexico City is regularly above the air quality standards considered acceptable by most other countries and international organizations. This means that people who live in Mexico City breathe in gases and chemicals that are bad for your health. Fossil fuels like oil, coal, natural gas are the main source of energy in Mexico's factories. But the use of fossil fuels can lead to pollution. Their combustion releases chemical and gases, or primary pollutants, into the air. These primary pollutants can cause any number of problems, from eye and throat irritation in people to global warming. Primary pollutants including carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, and particle matter like dust, ash, and etc. In addition to being dangerous on their own, when exposed to the sun, many primary pollutants go through a photochemical reaction that creates secondary pollutants. Secondary pollutants include sulfuric acid, nitrogen dioxide, and ozone. Primary and secondary pollutants combined with aerosols, tiny particles like water droplets, dust, and soot that are suspended in the air, can form smog, the brown haze that we see over large cities like Los Angeles, Mexico City, and sometimes in Denver. Mexico City's most important air pollutants are ozone, O3, sulfur dioxide, SO2, nitrogen oxides, NOx, hydrocarbons, HC, and carbon monoxide, CO. Much of this pollution comes from gas exhaust from private vehicles. The unique geographical structure of Mexico City allows pollutants like carbon monoxide to stay in the air. Mexico City is surrounded by mountains, making it seem as if it is trapped by high walls of mountains. This makes the city look like a basin, so imagine a kitchen sink with Mexico City at the very, very bottom, surrounded by mountains on all sides, hence the popular phrase Mexico City Air Basin. Because of the structure of the land, the winds are not able to push smog over the surrounding mountains, and as a result, many pollutants like carbon monoxide build up over the city. The highest level of carbon monoxide in the air is usually on weekday mornings between 7 and 9 a.m. During this time period, low temperatures, low atmospheric stability, and heavy traffic all occur at the same time. And in the evening, the winds effectively circulate through the air, but the particles remain nearby to be blown into the city again the next morning. So now that you guys have listened to the background reading as far as what the pollution problem is in Mexico City and why it is, that's specifically what I want you to identify. So what is specifically the problem in Mexico City as far as how come the air is as polluted as it is? So mainly, what is the main cause that brings about this pollution? How does that pollution show itself? And what geographic factors make that problem even worse? So those are the three things that I want you to identify, and I'd actually like you to submit a written response that details that. And again, I need the detail. So the reading is available, so you can go back and listen to this again, or you may visit the reading so that you can find specific details. But that is what I expect you to do. You need to identify the problem in details. What is it? How does it show itself? And what are some geographic issues that make the issue even worse?